Okay, so let's just dive right in. Inside your body, right this very second, there's a constant, silent war being waged against all kinds of invaders. But here's the thing. On this tiny, microscopic battlefield, there are no flashing lights or big signs pointing to the enemy. So how in the world does your immune system know exactly which cells to destroy and, just as importantly, which ones to leave alone?
Yeah, that's the big question, isn't it? How does a cell that's gotta go actually get flagged for the cleanup crew? Is it some kind of internal self-destruct sequence, or is it something else entirely?
Well, we've got four main suspects in our lineup here. We've got apoptosis, opsonization, degranulation, and the adaptive response. Now, they all sound pretty scientific, and honestly, they're all super important parts of your immune system. But only one of them is the specific answer we're looking for. Only one is that molecular tag that says, get this one. And the answer, the star of our show today, is B, opsonization. This is the amazing biological process that basically works as the body's ultimate eat me signal. So what exactly is it?
Okay, let's break this down. The most important word in that whole definition is coding. Just think about it like you're putting little molecular sticky notes all over something you want to get rid of. These sticky notes make the target totally irresistible and frankly impossible for your immune system's eater cells, the phagocytes, to miss.
And yeah, this is the perfect way to think about it. It's not about the invader deciding to destroy itself. And it's not about the phagocyte just bumping into a bad guy by chance. Nope. It's a deliberate, targeted labeling system that just screams, hey, over here, this is the one to get rid of.
All right, so how does this whole tag team operation actually go down? Well, it's a beautifully simple but incredibly effective three-step process.
So first up, the target gets marked. These special molecules called opsonins just swarm and coat the surface of the microbe or maybe a damaged cell. Then the cleanup crew gets the signal. The phagocytes, your body's cellular garbage collectors, they have these receptors that are just perfectly designed to grab onto those opsonins. And finally, once they've got a good firm grip, they take out the trash. They completely engulf and digest the target. It's that simple. Tagged, grabbed, and gone.
But you know, not all of these molecular taggers are created equal. The immune system has a few different types it can deploy. You've got antibodies, which are part of your adaptive immune system, the one that has a memory. Think of them as highly trained specialists that recognize specific enemies you've already battled. Then you've got complement proteins and surfactants. They're part of the innate or first response system. They're kind of like the general security guards, able to spot and tag all sorts of common threats without needing a formal introduction.
Right, so now that we have a pretty good idea of what opsonization is, it's just as important to understand what it isn't. So let's go back and clear the names of our other suspects. First on the list, apoptosis. You might have heard of this one. It's basically programmed cell suicide. Opsonization is an external job. It's like putting a kick me sign on someone's back. Apoptosis is internal. It's the cell itself getting an order to push its own self-destruct button. I mean, both end with a cell being eliminated, sure, but the way they get there is totally different. Okay, what about degranulation? Well, if opsonization is passive tagging, just prepping the target for another cell, degranulation is a full-on active assault. This is when an immune cell gets right up next to a target and just unleashes a ton of toxic grenades or granules to destroy it directly. So one is labeling, the other is launching the weapons. Big difference.
And finally, that adaptive response, well, that one's not really wrong. It's just way too broad. It's like asking, what do you use to write a letter? And someone answers, the entire postal service. The adaptive response is the whole system. B cells, T cells, memory, the whole shebang. Opsonization is just one very specific, very critical tool that this bigger system uses to get the job done.
So, why does any of this microscopic detail actually matter in the real world? Well, it matters a lot, because when this elegant tagging system breaks down, the consequences can be really, really severe.
I mean, this process is absolutely critical. Some of the nastiest bacteria have these slippery outer capsules that make them super hard for our phagocytes to get a grip on. Opsonization is what makes them sticky enough to be caught. And this is so cool. It's a huge reason why vaccines are so effective. They basically train your body to make these antibody opsonins ahead of time so you're ready to tag and bag a real infection in an instant. And it makes sense then that when people have genetic defects in this system, they're way more vulnerable to all sorts of dangerous infections. So the next time you're just sitting there feeling perfectly healthy, remember this incredible, elegant system of tagging and disposal that's constantly working to keep you that way.
It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other amazing, invisible dramas are playing out inside our cells every single second of the day?